The following podcast is a production of Structure Tech, the most highly rated home inspection company in the Midwest.
How many chimney flues actually come back with a clean bill of health?
None. I wish I could say that there were a few, but that's the surprising thing for most people is that most masonry wood-burning fireplace flues, they do not pass the level 2 chimney inspection.
Welcome everybody to Structure Talk. I'm Bill Ulbrich here today with Ruben Saltzman and Tessa Murray, like always. And we're going to talk about chimneys today. We're getting into the fall season and people are thinking about burning wood. I have no idea why anybody wants to burn wood, but we'll talk about it. I'm a big fan.
Wait. Sorry to interrupt. You like storing half houses, but you don't like real wood fires?
That struck me. What the heck?
Right.
I know. Everybody likes a real wood fire.
You put a gas
Bill
insert
is an
into
enigma.
your beautiful chimney and you flip a switch and it's wonderful. But anyway, we're going to talk about chimneys because if you're burning wood, it's a really good idea to get a level 2 chimney inspection on a regular basis and also get your flue cleaned out on a regular basis. So we'll go on to some chimney talk. Ruben, tell us what you're thinking today.
All right. Well, my first thought about chimneys is that there's a lot of clowns out there who do chimney inspections. And I started learning about this because, and this is really realtor driven. We would do home inspections and then we'd have realtors who would tell their clients, you should get a chimney inspection done by a chimney specialist at the same time. And we'd start having these chimney guys show up at our inspections. They'd bring these fiber optic cameras and they'd run it down the chimney from the top or up the chimney from the bottom. And then they'd be like, yeah, you got cracks and you got missing mortar, you got this, that, and the other, and it's going to be $10,000 to fix it. And we started seeing this happening over and over again. And so we started digging into this and realizing, we really need to start recommending these things.
Yeah, well, just to clarify too, and we're talking about people that have wood-burning masonry fireplaces.
Thank you.
That's
Yes.
what we recommend doing a level 2 chimney inspection on. So if you've got just a masonry chimney that, your furnace or water heater vent out of, you don't need to do a level 2 chimney inspection on that. Just if you're burning a wood fire.
Yeah. You say level 2. I don't think I introduced that, but what's the difference? What's a level 1, 2, and 3?
You're not suggesting that the guys with the cameras are clowns, are you?
No, the guys using cameras usually do a pretty good job.
Excellent.
And,
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
The camera inspection, that's considered a level 2. A level 1 inspection is going to be basically what we as home inspectors do. We're going to look at all the visually accessible areas. We're going to look inside the firebox. We're going to look up the flue. We'll look down the flue. We're going to walk on the roof if it's safe to do so. And we're going to look at the chimney in the attic. Look at all the accessible areas. Now, a level 2 is where you take that camera and you inspect the entire interior. I mean, you run that camera up the entire flue and you see every mortar joint.
So what's a level 3?
That's where there's been a fire or you think that there's something really serious going on and you need to tear that sucker apart. That is destructive testing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
and that's what they're going to do if there has been a fire and they need to get to the bottom of it, there's concealed damage, they will tear it apart.
Wow.
Destructive testing seems like oxymoron. I'm not even sure what the right word is. It's a rebuild.
Destructive inspection, maybe? Yeah.
Okay, so Tessa, in your experience, all the home inspections you've done, all the level 2s you've seen, how many chimney flues actually come back with a clean bill of health?
None. I wish I could say that there were a few, but that's the surprising thing for most people is that most masonry wood-burning fireplace flues, they do not pass the level 2 chimney inspection.
Okay, Ruben, I've always thought this, but I want to get your opinion on this. I feel like most of these flues that are failing were installed exactly in this manner, and they've been that way since day one.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people say. They say, well, this passes because it was installed properly at the time, therefore it meets code. Mm-hmm. People use that argument, the grandfathering clause. And they'll say, well, it's never been a problem. Well, yeah, we know it's never been a problem. We can look at the house and see it hasn't burned down. That much is clear. But it's only not a problem until it's a problem. Mm-hmm. Whenever you have a change in use, that's when we're really concerned about there being a fire. And when do you have a change in use? When you have a change in occupancy. When the house sells, when you have new owners moving in. Maybe the previous owners used those little fire logs, they just have little fires all the time. New owners, they might not be doing that. They might have big rip-roaring fires and use it much differently than the previous owners did. And if you're going to have a fire in your living room, that whole flue better be safe.
See, that's why get your gas insert, and you live life safely.
So we didn't talk about what that means if it fails. So define fail, right? My understanding is anytime they find a crack in the clay tile in the liner, or if they find missing mortar in between the clay tiles, right, that means that it fails.
Those would be reasons
And
for
there's
failure,
other things
yeah.
too, right?
There's
like
a lot
missing
of stuff.
missing parging on the smoke chamber and cracks in the firebox and lots of other things that can lead to it failing.
Exactly.
And if it fails, then technically they say it's not safe to burn wood in, and you shouldn't have a fire because you could start a chimney fire.
Yeah, I hear this all the time. Like, oh yeah, it's been that way for a long time. It's been safe. It's never been a problem. And people question, how often do we really have fires? And I got this little statistic here. This is from the Consumer Product Safety Commission talking about how often people actually have fires. And we're talking about chimney fires. And usually when people say a chimney fire, most of the time it's going to be a structure fire. It's not an actual fire that happens inside the flue of the chimney. It's where you've got these little gaps in the chimney, missing mortar, and then you have heat from the chimney heat from the liner in the chimney getting transferred to the structure of the chimney, the actual bricks that hold the chimney up, and then those transfer heat to the wood framing. That's how a chimney fire starts. It's technically a structure fire. And so the CPSC said between 2012 and 2014, anybody want to guess how many fires we had in the U.S.? Chimney fires?
2,000.
22,000.
Oh my gosh.
In that small period. This is how many chimney fires we
Wow.
had. So this is a
Wow.
serious thing. I mean, it's not us as home inspectors or the chimney inspectors blowing stuff out of
Yeah.
proportion. There are a ridiculous number of unsafe chimneys out there, and most people just don't know about it.
When we come back, Ruben, I've got a few questions about the inspection process. I know you've dug into this because you brought this service in-house for all our clients, so they know exactly what they're buying. When we come back, we'll dig into that. You're listening to Structure Talk, a Structure Tech presentation brought to you by the most highly rated home inspection company in the Midwest.
To see what makes us different from our competition, please check out Ruben's Home Inspection blog, which is updated weekly at structuretech1.com.
Hi everyone, Bill Ulrich here with Structure Talk. Do you live in a home that has a homeowners association attached to it? Here's an interesting nugget. In 2019, Minnesota passed a law that requires all HOAs have a preventive maintenance plan in place. What's that, you say? I know, right? And what's necessary is clear as mud. At Structure Tech, we put together an affordable solution to help HOAs meet this obligation. If your association isn't talking about this, they should be. Check out how we can help at structuretech1.com. We've been working closely with management companies all year to come up with a win-win-win to meet this new requirement. Let us know if we can help at structuretech1.com. Okay, Ruben, we're back. Just talk to me about why you decided to bring this service in-house.
Well, really, it's because we had so many of our clients asking us, do you do chimney inspections? I mean, people were seeking this out. And we ended up partnering up with another chimney company. They do great work. Well, I can say it on here. It's Chimney Doctors. And we partnered up with them, and they would do all the inspections for us. But after a while, people started getting concerned that there was a conflict of interest. They said, well, these guys actually do the repairs on chimneys too, and they're calling out all of these chimneys as having defects, and this is not right. Of course they're going to call it out. They want to just fix it. And I didn't buy that at all, but there was an appearance of a conflict, and that's why we ended up taking this in-house. And we ended up getting our own guy trained in to do chimney inspections. That's Patrick Brennan, and now he does all of them for us.
You know, it's really interesting. I've read a ton of the Chimney Doctor's inspections, and I've read a ton of Patrick's inspections, and they all seem the same because they're governed by the same organization. Tell me about this organization. And I think Chimney Doctors was so far above board, people just didn't like the news they were getting, and they threw them under the bus, not their chimney.
Yeah, that's the Chimney Safety Institute of America, CSIA. They're a certifying body body for people to do chimney inspections, repair chimneys, do work on them, and they're recognized all over the country.
So, Tess, I know you have a question. What are you thinking?
Well, no, I was just going to say, I mean, for the consumer out there, for someone who's buying a house or has a wood-burning fireplace, what should they know when they're researching who to hire to do this chimney inspection? Because, yes, the CSA certified, that's great. What does that mean? And is that typical? Are most of these chimney companies CSA certified out there?
It seems like there's a ton of them that aren't. And, we've had some crazy experiences with some companies who aren't. Bill, there was one, I don't know if you remember this one, but I got to tell this story because it was awesome. I inspected a house, and the woman buying this house...
I was there with you, I think.
Oh my gosh, you guys were both...
Yeah, we were both involved on that transaction.
Yeah, you took a picture of me leaning against the chimney.
Yeah.
Okay, so you remember the woman. She's buying this house.
Yes.
She just got a divorce. She's got 3 kids, 50th in France. She needs a turnkey house. One of her requirements for a home was that it have a wood-burning fireplace. This was important to her. So the garage was like sliding down the hill from the alley.
Yeah.
The flat roof, which had apparently just been repaired.
Air quotes, repaired.
Yes, repaired. I think they caulked it because there was a deck on top of this flat roof, and it was leaking at the time of our inspection.
Yeah.
And then we get to the chimney, and we looked down the chimney, and the middle was gone.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the chimney's fine, the structure actually, but then the liner, the clay liner, was completely
Missing.
gone
Yeah.
about halfway down. And we saw this. I mean, we got on our 28-foot extension ladder, which we bring to our inspections. We look down the chimney. Whoa, that's bad news. Chimney inspector shows up, the level 2 chimney inspector, who we had no partnership with at the time. The client just hired their own chimney inspector. He gets in, and he badmouths all the other chimney inspectors in the Twin Cities. He's like, these guys just want to make a big deal. They want to sell liners and blah, blah, blah. And this guy doesn't do any repair work. And he's bad-mouthing everybody. And then he looks up there with his camera and he goes, oh. Yeah. And then he goes back and he says, well, yeah, I know what I said, but this is a serious problem. This is a rebuild. And, well, what's this going to cost? I don't know, $12,000. Like something crazy.
Yeah, or more.
And, or more. And the buyer tapped out. She's like, I'm done. I'm not buying this house.
She walked away from that.
She ended the we never even got to the basement. So that ended the inspection. And then a week later, we get this email notification saying we're scheduled to do an inspection on the same house again. You're scheduled to do it, Bill.
That was me. That's correct.
Yeah. Yep. And then I called you up and I'm like, hey, Bill, just thought I'd let you know, the chimney's toast, the garage is doing this, the roof's doing that.
Structural stucco on the garage.
Structural stucco. Yeah, the studs are rotted out to nothing. That's where we got structural stucco. And then we get an email from the listing agent saying, hey, just thought I'd let you know, we just had so-and-so's chimney service come out and the chimney is safe and in working order. And we're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, and they had an invoice from the company.
Exactly. They sent it out to us and everything. It's like, wait a minute. Hold on. Who said it wasn't in good working order? Where did this come from? Because they don't even know that it's us doing the inspection again. They just sent this out of the blue. All right. That's strange. But also, no, it's not. The middle of the chimney is gone. So we'd like to meet him out there. And we met the chimney guy out there while you're doing the inspection, Bill. I met the chimney guy there.
There was a whole group of people standing there waiting for XYZ chimney company to show up and declare the chimney in good working order.
Yeah. So he gets on your ladder. He shows up in his vehicle. He's got no ladder, no camera, no fiber optic camera. And so, of course, our thought right away is, how'd you inspect it the first time? And then we realized, oh, wait, we know how you inspected it the first time.
Yeah.
You did it just the way you did it. Like, no, you didn't have a camera. You just looked up the flue. So he gets on our ladder. He looks down. He gets off the ladder. He's looking at the ground. He's like, oh, I'm trying to figure out how we could get a liner in there. And we're like, what liner? What's the deal?
It's perfectly safe.
Yeah. And we said, all right. Just straight answer. Is it safe to use? He says, no. And we're like, all right, thank you. We excused him because it's super awkward.
Yeah.
And he left very quickly, and that was the end of it. Thank you, goodbye. And what it all comes down to is there's a ton of clowns out there. There's a lot of companies out there who will just look up the flue. They'll say, yep, looks good. Call me again next year, and we'll do another inspection. And they're not really doing a chimney inspection. They're not doing a level 2 chimney inspection. And that's what needs to happen when you're buying a house.
Okay, so when we come back, let's talk about what I love is sticking a liner inside of these old masonry chimneys and forget about what the flue looks like. You're listening to Structure Talk. I'm your host, Bill Ulrich, and we'll be right back. Hi, everyone. Bill Ulrich from Structure Talk. We talk a lot about maintenance on the podcast. If you're like me, I'd rather be doing anything other than maintaining my house. Problem is, my neglectful nature can bring unexpected surprises. So what's a fantasy football fan like me to do? Punt! That's why I recommend Cura Home Maintenance. They actually like home maintenance, and they're happy to do it for you. For a couple dollars a day, they'll keep your home on track. They free you up to enjoy your weekends. Check them out at curahome.com. That's K-U-R-A home.com. Gotta get back to the game. Okay, we're back to the chimney discussion. I'm Bill Ulbrich, your host, alongside Tessa Murray and Ruben Saltzman, all with Structure Tech. Tessa, I know you've got a story that you wanted to share with us.
Just had a recent inspection, and the buyers, this house had a wood-burning fireplace, and it was really important to them. They really wanted to have a wood-burning fireplace. They had ordered a level 2 chimney inspection, so we went out there. I did the home inspection, and then Patrick did the level 2 chimney inspection, and he found some pretty significant issues with this chimney. There are, big cracks, chunks missing mortar. So it failed, like they all do pretty much, right? 99% of the time. So anyways, that inspection, completed that. The house had a list of things going on with it. And, the fireplace was one big thing for them. But I get a call from their agent, from the buyer's agent, like the next day. She said, "Can you explain something to me? I'm kind of a newer agent." And she said, the sellers have provided documentation from a chimney inspection company that says the chimney is in fine and working order. And they're basically saying that this is bogus and that they're, they don't want to fix anything because I guess they had asked them for some money or negotiations or something about that. She's like, what do I do? This letter came from someone who's CSA certified. And I was like, what? Okay, because, we always recommend, go to the website, look up a CSA certified chimney sweep, find someone who's credible to do this level 2 chimney inspection. And I said to this agent, well, so what does their report look like? And she's like, well, it's just writing. It says it's acceptable. I said, well, did they provide any pictures of the inside of the chimney? And she said, no, apparently he didn't use a fiber optic camera and he didn't do that. And I said, well, then why is there any debate? Here you are, you're provided with a report from our certified CSA chimney sweep with pictures of a broken down clay liner. And you've got sellers who are trying to debate that it's actually acceptable because they have a contractor who says it's fine.
Who didn't even see it.
I said, I don't even know why you're talking to me right
Do you think
now.
Maybe you
We need to
inspected the
take a
wrong
break.
house?
I'm just mad.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like, okay, do your due diligence, have a level 2 chimney inspection, use a CSA certified chimney sweep. But if they don't use a fiber optic camera, you can't inspect the chimney.
That's all there is.
Yeah.
I do think
mic
we
drop.
can be honest that it is a big shock when you think everything's fine and dandy and then all of a sudden somebody comes out of left field with a pretty big ask, like the chimney needs to be rebuilt and this is going to be several $1,000s. I could see how somebody would be knocked off their foundation a little bit and need some further explanation. But if you're going to fight it with good information, not just the company next door who spent 3 minutes looking at it.
So, Bill, before we went to break, you talked about what you like to do to fix this.
Yes.
We're just about out of time. We've talked about all the ways to get these inspected, but what do you do when there's an $8,000 repair that needs to happen?
Punt. You buy a $3,500 insert and you put it inside and have it installed. You make sure the chimney is good at the exterior and you're good to go.
Okay.
Sounds
that's
like a
it.
perfect
Now,
plan.
were you talking about a gas insert or are you talking about a
of course,
wood-burning
gas
insert?
No, gas insert.
Okay.
I
You're
mean-
probably on the low end of the price spectrum
I know.
when you say
I've
that,
lived
but that's
most
okay.
of these. We did 2 of them in our house, and we got a break because we had a main floor and a basement. We did them both at the same time, and it cost us about $7,500. Now, granted, that was 8 or 9 years ago.
Sure.
That included running the gas line, and we're in the city, so it had to be inspected by the municipal inspector and all that good stuff. So it's affordable in comparison to rebuilding your precious wood fireplace that you're going to use 3 times.
Yeah.
So just to back up for a second, if someone has a wood burning fireplace and it fails, it's in bad shape, it's not safe to burn wood in. They've got a few different options though, right? I mean, adding a gas insert fireplace is one option, but if they are just married to the idea of having wood burning, what can they do, right? And there's
Spend a lot of money.
Well, they can spend a lot of money, yeah, but there's a few things. One, rebuild build the chimney, right? And that's quite a process of breaking up the clay tiles and reparging the inside. Relining. Thank you.
The chimney.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Relining.
you could reline it.
Relining. Or installing like a steel flue up the middle, right?
If there's enough
space
there
for it.
usually isn't to just drop those in there, but that's
A
an
steel
option
liner.
too.
Yep. And those are very expensive as well. Or another option, burn some candles maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Leave it
Yeah.
as
yeah.
it is.
Put
Leave
candles
as
in there
is.
and don't do
Yeah,
anything.
don't do anything.
That's a really important piece, Tessa, is that
Yeah.
you don't ever have to fix this. All you have to do is don't have a fire in your living room, and there's no hazard then.
Yeah.
That's okay too.
Yeah, and we spent our whole time talking about basically the inside of a masonry fireplace. And we didn't even talk about repairing anything at the exterior, which could add some significant value. And if you're like me and a lover of gas, I still have to maintain all the exterior components of my fireplace. So I'm not off the hook with any of that.
Yeah, you still have the chimney portion that's outside above the roof that you have to maintain. Tuck pointing, the crown. We didn't even talk about issues that we see all the time in inspections with crowns and chimneys.
We'll have to have Steve Cool come back out. He did one with us on heat cables, but he loves talking about chimneys too, at least the exterior. We got to have him talk about that. Maybe in the winter, maybe in the spring, we'll see, but he'd be good to talk about that too.
Yeah.
All right, sounds great. We're going to wrap this one up, but before we go, Ruben, tell everybody where they can get all the information they need to know about home inspections and home ownership.
StructureTech1.com.
We'll catch you next time.
To see what makes us different from our competition, please check out Ruben's Home Inspection blog, which is updated weekly at StructureTech1.com. For more information on how we can provide you with the right information about your home before you buy or sell, contact us at StructureTech1.com.